Hi, my name is Melania Lakoski. I am a whistleblower who was a venture capital funded startup rep in the industry for 13 years. My company, Acclarent, sold $40 million worth of product, never for its intended or cleared purpose, 100% off-label, completely useless. So that is why I am here today. Innovation is being exploited and manipulated to evade the law. How venture capital funded medical device built a pathway to profits and expense of patients, employees, shareholders, and taxpayers. What's the problem? Venture capital funded medical device industry is exploiting loopholes in the FDA to profit from fraudulent overvaluations of companies to sell unsafe and ineffective products and hiding behind the First Amendment and off-label to achieve the goals. How do we solve that problem? There's two simple fixes to this that will stop this fraud from ruining the lives of innocent patients and prevent knowingly and willingly exploiting the executives from profiting from the public's expense. The goals and motivations of pharmaceutical companies and medical device companies differ greatly. This is a point that the DOJ was not familiar with prior to my case, but was very regularly exploited within the medical device industry. The pharmaceutical company's goal is to get the patent and to sell as much product as they can on the patent during that 7-year time frame. There are 1,500 reps that sell the same product. You have 7 years. You get a very big database to show where the problems are. On the venture capital side, the goal is to get an IPO or acquisition. You have 3 to 5 years, so the VCs want 8 to 10 times back their original investment, and they want that in 3 to 5 years. So you don't have a huge database to pull from as you do on the pharmaceutical side. The scope is a lot different. You've got maybe 15 reps selling. You're maybe doing 1 or 2 cases a month, if that, in the beginning. So the motivation is very different. The companies come up with false projections to create the appearance of hypergrowth. So the quotas are based off of not what the market can actually bear surgically, but what the investors want on the ROI. That's the problem. And what's happening is that shelves are being overstocked and patients are having surgeries needlessly as a result to try to meet this quota. So this is where the fraud is. The First Amendment is being dangerously and illegally misappropriated by the medical device industry for off-label promotion, using the same guidelines as the pharmaceutical industry, despite the very different pathways to the market. The pharmaceutical industry pathway, again, is a goal to get the approval, which is different than what you're going to see on the VC side. The goal is a clearance for a medical device. But yet what the industry is doing is misappropriating that. So medical device companies exploit the FDA's lack of benchtop testing when they knowingly and willingly select an ambiguous, substantially equivalent product to gain clearance. This allows the medical device company to place blame on the FDA without taking accountability while illegally using the First Amendment argument. In the acquittal of Vascular Solutions CEO Howard Root, a case in which the company paid DOJ fines, Judge Lambert said that not a crime for a device company or its representatives to give doctors wholly truthful and non-misleading information about the unapproved use of a medical device. Medical devices aren't approved, they're cleared. This is the difference in path that negates the off-label usage of medical device marketing. This is where the FDA needs to intervene. Cleared medical devices are not cleared on factual clinical data, but based on something that a company decides is the substantial equivalence, which means that they are selling a device off-label. It can never be wholly truthful, and that's part of the problem with this, which negates the industry's manipulation of the First Amendment to sell off-label. Substantial equivalence in my industry is making small, subtle changes to this 510K so it goes unnoticed by the FDA, which is what happened in my case. DOJ, FDA, federal judges were manipulated into thinking that off-label in pharma is the same as off-label in medical devices. And they have allowed this industry to illegally use the First Amendment to sell off-label. How do VC-funded medical device companies get away with this? They blame the FDA. When that does work, they'll misappropriate the pharma's industry's pathway to claim off-label promotion. They blame the employees. We are threatened and intimidated into underreporting adverse events. The very big topic here is adverse events. And that's a means to protect the company and not patient safety. Employees are blamed for not training the surgeons properly. The surgeons are blamed for user error when it's usually the device error, or they're blamed for not selecting the right patient population. They blame the patients. They blame the victims that they created when they put profits before patients. They demean and insult, file motions to dismiss, and appeal case after cases are lost, and further it intimidates and demoralizes victims to remain silent. What should the FDA do to stop this abusive practice? First, you have to stop the off-label promotion of medical devices. This is not the same as a drug. And the FDA's failure to recognize that is exactly why I'm standing here today as a whistleblower. I lost my career over that, which is nothing in comparison to what all these people in the front row have lost. But there is responsibility to the FDA on this. And this device should have never been approved. If there was benchtop testing, it would have never gone through. As a rep in the industry for 15 years, I did not know that the FDA did not do benchtop testing. I did not know that until I met with the DOJ and the FBI. That's not something that is not known in our industry. That is not unique to me, I will tell you. We need to establish a task force to investigate innovation fraud. Innovation, we heard yesterday from all the attorneys from the industry. They'll hide behind any word they possibly can, whether it's wholly truthful. You cannot have wholly truthful when you are using something that is substantially equivalent. Substantial equivalence is not the same thing as scientific data. And that is where the fracture is in this, and that is the loophole that they are exploiting, and they'll continue to exploit. This is not unique to this small company that sold to Johnson & Johnson for $785 million. This is just kind of the overview of my case, but I think some of the big things are that prior to this case, everybody in the industry thought that medical device startups are too small. They go unnoticed by the FDA. That changed in this case. And that's where we have to make sure that we keep after this and that the FDA really does intervene on behalf of all the patients. It's bad for the employees who are put in a terrible position, and it's bad for the patients. So that's it.